Hi, this is Phil, and I'm going to show you how to use the Ceiling Tile Planner. It's a useful tool for planning your ceiling configuration, visualizing the look of different tiles, and calculating the number of tiles you'll need for your ceiling tile project. In this tutorial, though I'm going to cover each section of the Ceiling Tile Planner toolbar, I'm going to start with section 2, selecting your tiles, because I think that section's the most fun. If you need help with section 1, room layout, it will be covered at the end of the video, and you can jump to that timestamp if you need help with that section. If you were viewing a particular tile, when you clicked into the Ceiling Tile Planner, it will be automatically selected. Otherwise, a default tile is selected. To change the tile, click on the tile icon in the toolbar, and that will open up the list of available tiles to you. The tiles shown are those that match both the tile size you've selected, 2x2 or 2x4, and the mounting type, grid or direct. If you have a tile selected and then change the size or mounting type, you will likely be shown that your current selection is not available for that configuration, which is indicated by a red border around that tile, and you will need to choose a new tile by clicking on the tile and your new selection. So I've selected a new tile, and that now shows up in my design. You'll notice that the Use a Border Tile icon illuminated green when I clicked on that tile. That's because this tile either projects down into the room or recesses up from the ceiling, so that partial tiles around the edge of the room, where they meet the wall, will either have a gap or an overlap where the tile meets the wall. So for these, we recommend you use a border tile, which is a more flat design so it stays flush with the ceiling. To choose the border tile, just click on the icon and select from the border tile shown. To add a second tile to your design, click on the Use a Second Tile icon and select from the available tiles. To cycle a tile in your layout between the different tiles you've chosen, select the tile you want to place, then click any tiles in your design that you want to change to that style. Note that when you change to a different tile for the tile 1, tile 2, or border tile, those tiles in your design will change along with it. I encourage you to play around with the different combinations and layouts of tiles. With all the available options you have, the sky's the limit. Now if you want to eliminate tile 2 or the border tile, simply hover over the tile in the toolbar and then click on the Remove Tile link that appears in red. To see more details about any of the tiles you've selected, click on the Product Page link just below that tile in the toolbar. A new tab will open up so you don't lose any of your work in the planner. You can also save your layout at any time, as described in section 5 of this video. For grid mount layouts, you'll have an additional option, grid tape. You can select grid tape in various colors by hovering over the color of choice. Although these colors are specifically designed to match the ProLight series tile color of the same name, they can dress up any design. To remove grid tape, hover over the first icon that says No Grid Tape when you hover over it. As a side note on asymmetrical tiles, these tiles are placed into your design already rotated in specific patterns. If you want to change the rotation, make sure that tile is activated in the toolbar and then hover over whichever tiles you want to rotate. Your cursor should change to a rotation symbol, and you can click as many times as you'd like to get the orientation you desire. Section 3, Custom Features. You can add custom features to your design by clicking on the icon in the toolbar and then selecting in your design where you would like to place it. I'm going to place a vent here and here, because that matches my room. And I'll place a light fixture here and here. Now I can remove these by clicking again to remove each of the items. I can remove the vents by clicking back on the vents icon and removing the vents. You can also place grid dividers. This is only for 2x4 layouts. Grid dividers would only be used to divide up your 2x4 grid into a 2x2 grid, or if you had specific areas in your room where this had already been done. You can also add light lenses to your design, and a brief description appears when you click on the icon. Section 4, the Tile Calculator. The Ceiling Tile Calculator is designed to calculate the minimum number of tiles for a layout, utilizing as many leftover pieces for partial tiles as possible. Often, you can use the leftover piece from a partial tile somewhere else in your layout, That's why the total tiles is almost always less than the full tiles plus the partial tiles, and that will save you money. And if you've added grid tape to your design, the tile calculator will also tell you the total length of grid tape you need. Section 5, saving your layout. It's useful to save your layout for a number of reasons. If you come back to the Ceiling Tile Planner from a different product page, it will use that product in your existing design. Also, if you come back to the site a day or two from now, your design will still be here. So when you're done designing, go ahead and name your layout. Your saved layouts will be available to you for up to 30 days or until you clear your browser cookies. Okay, now let's jump back up to the top, Section 1, Room Layout, since we didn't talk about it at the beginning. Here you can lay out the size and shape of your room, as well as select the mounting type and size of ceiling tile you will be using. At any time, you can zoom in or out from your design by clicking on the zoom out or zoom in icons at the top of the toolbar. Okay, first select the shape of room that closest represents your room. If you select an L-shaped room, you'll need to adjust the dimensions to match your room. Next, select grid or direct mount. If you are using a drop ceiling with a grid system, select grid mount. For all other installations, select direct mount. Ceiling tiles come in either 2x2 or 2x4 sizes. If you choose 2x4s, you'll need to select whether it's horizontal or vertical. You'll notice when I selected a 2x4, it asked me to pick a new tile, since my previous selection was a 2x2 tile. Okay, grid mount installations. First, type in the number of tiles you have in the horizontal and vertical directions. Then, input your edge tile dimensions. These will be around the left, top, right, and bottom edges of your room. The actual cut size of the tile will be around 3/4 of an inch larger, due to the tile overlap with your grid. The calculated room dimensions will appear at the bottom. If you are installing a new grid system and don't yet have the number of tiles and edge tile dimensions, a method I like to use is switching over to the direct mount button, inputting my room dimensions, and aligning the tiles, and then switching back over to the grid mount. Direct mount installations. For direct mount installations, first input your room dimensions. Then select the horizontal and vertical alignment of the tiles in the room. So a tile-centered horizontal alignment means that in the horizontal direction, I have the center of a tile at the center of my room. Now if I switch this to a grid-centered alignment, that means I have the edge of a tile at the center of the room. For vertical alignment, left, right, top, and bottom aligned work pretty much the same way. Here we have now a left-aligned grid where a full tile meets at the left edge of my room. So my vertical alignment I'll make top aligned, and now the top of the tile is at the top of my room. Because most direct mount applications, you have the freedom to align the tile or orient the tiles where you want to. Then you can place them whether you want them left aligned in your room, top aligned, you want the center of your room to be lined up with the center of a tile. You have the freedom to choose that. And by selecting from the options on the right, you'll be able to position your tiles where you want them, and that'll affect the total tile count down in the tile calculator. Thanks for watching this tutorial. I know that some of the tools are a little more difficult to use than others, so if there's anything that you're having trouble with, don't hesitate to give us a call and we'll be happy to help.